Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the All-American Savage Show podcast. I am your host, John Burke, with my beautiful bearded husband, Josh.
You could listen to that all day long.
Of course, people really start thinking like we're married. Like I should probably clarify that over time. Good morning, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch. Well, not Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. I want to say big thank you for tuning in with us this morning. Apologies for being late. Normally we're live at 10 a.m. CST, but there was some really bad traffic on 75 this morning on my way to the gym, so I was in traffic for like an hour, which stalled us. But we're here now. It's Monday. It's Monday morning. So I hope wherever you're at, wherever you're listening, whether you're at home, on your way to work, at work, if you're in the field, if you're deployed, wherever you may be, if you're listening and tuning in, I hope you have a really kick-ass Monday. And we've got a hell of a show for you today. Pissing off a lot of people. I'm pissing off a lot of people on Instagram because I'm tired of holding back on a lot of things that have been really bugging me and bothering me for the sake of like not wanting to create internet drama. But I have been inundated. And I want to make this clear to people. I've been inundated with messages and articles written or discussed or talked about from Turning Point ambassadors and Turning Point people. Let me clarify real quick. I don't care about Turning Point. Turning Point, in my opinion, is the establishment. They're the GOP establishment. And the reason I have beef with Turning Point is that when it came time for them to vocalize their opinions on Trump going after the 2A, which I posted in my Instagram stories for proof, because a lot of you didn't even know this happened. I don't know if it's because the press didn't cover it. Turning Point didn't say shit. The NRA barely even opened their mouths. When it came time and Trump was like, we're going to take the guns, due process, we'll do it later. Blah, blah, blah. Those organizations that claim to be constitutionalists, that claim to be for America, for the Constitution, didn't say a fucking word. So when the time came for you to actually vocalize it and stand up and be counted, you weren't there. Let me
firearms first and then go to court, because that's another system. Because a lot of times by the time you go to court, it takes so long to go to court to get the due process procedures. I like taking the guns early, like in this crazy man's case that just took place in Florida. He had a lot of firearms. They saw everything.
Now, I think Trump's intent is good here, but this is also what caught Crenshaw a lot of flack.
Who was he talking about there?
He was talking about the one crazy dude in Florida that shot people. Apparently, he was
that
on...
young kid, right?
I think it was that. I'm not sure. But either way, the point still stands that you can't just take someone's guns and then due process second. It doesn't work that way. It's innocent until proven guilty.
And I think in that kid's case, he had contacted the FBI himself and the authorities and told them that he was going to go out and kill people.
Are you telling me the FBI dropped the ball? Like, stop.
I don't know why we still have them.
So, no, I am not a fan of Turning Point. I am not a fan of the NRA. I'm sorry. I think it's all clout chasing and grifting at this point. It's about money making. And you're going to see this more and more as time goes on, ladies and gentlemen. That's why when, you see a lot of these influencers, they launch a new podcast, it jumps straight to the top because they've got all this audience to essentially echo it. And that's why they get so big in numbers. But when you go against the establishment, when you think for yourself, when you ask yourself, well, why are they not saying, why are they not going against Trump when Trump is doing wrong, when he's not going in line with the Constitution? They won't say it because they're in Trump's pocket. They're with Trump Jr. They have all this. Like, I called this when Kirk was like slamming Simone Biles and talking about, I didn't like seeing Russians with their gold and looking at the USA. That pisses me off. Meanwhile, Simone Biles is dealing with like rape issues. And, these same people that are talking about like women's rights, but, help women, all this.
Now, wait a minute. Didn't she go to the FBI?
You're really not helping me today. You're really not helping me today. You're getting me so pissed off because that's one of the articles we're going to get into.
Wait, now she went to the FBI too, right?
Almost like the FBI is kind of fucking worthless in some stances. Weird.
Oh, that's strange.
Didn't America exist before the FBI? Weren't we okay without them? It's kind of like the FDA. Like, did we really need these? No. We've become so dependent on these government organizations because of all the good they perpetuate and they do, yet still violate our individual rights. But it's like, oh no, they do a lot of good. I can see the arguments there.
What good? I think there's good people in there.
Oh, yeah,
but
absolutely.
I think the terrible people outweigh the good people.
Oh, yeah.
Hands down.
I think it's just another violation of our rights. And I'm getting sick and tired of like trying to pretend that I support these organizations when I support good people. And I know that we have to have law enforcement, otherwise we'd have anarchy. But there needs to be a limit. Right. There needs to be a limit, and that's where I think a lot of GOP members don't understand. It's like you can still be in support of the blue, which I do. I support the police. Yeah. But it's like there needs to be a modicum of restraint, on their part, and not just sitting there saying, well, we pulled him over because we just felt like it. Like, no, you don't have that authority. You don't have that right. That's what pisses me off about it. And there's many other things that are involved with that. But I think more and more people are waking. I mean, I woke up to it, that it's like, hey, maybe we should start questioning these arms of the law and saying, why do we have you? Like, do we need more oversight? Because I don't feel like we do.
Defund the FBI.
Maybe
we could start defunding them.
And then push those funds towards, I 100% agree. Oh, what a way to start the morning. What a great way to start the podcast. Fuck, my dick is already hard. Jesus. I had somebody leave a comment on my Instagram, and it was one of the, I think, the most accurate depictions, but she's like, you've got the foulest mouth, you got the biggest heart on social media. It's like, okay, I could buy that.
I could see that.
That fucking cunt. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. Oh, my God.
It gets dirty.
Thank you for listening to the podcast. Thank you for sharing the podcast. The numbers are growing insanely fast. And like I said before, Josh and I are doing this all on our own. We are not sponsored by anyone. We don't have influencers that we pay to say good things about us. We are legitimately on our own. We fall under no establishment. We're decentralized. We're decentralized thought. So I hope you appreciate that. We will never work with these organizations that are loyal to certain political individuals. It'll never happen. I've been reached out to, contacts like, would you like to be this? It's like, nope, no thanks, get a hard pass. Because I could be Graham Allen if I wanted to. I really could. I just don't want to be. I don't want to go that route because I feel like it's selling out. It's selling out for the sake of the Constitution or the sake of like getting your name out there. And the stories I could tell you about these people would blow your fucking minds. We're all hypocrites. We're all liars at some point, but I just don't like those that go out and perpetuate this idea like they're not. It's like, yes, you are. Like, yes, the fuck you are. Stop fucking lying. I saw a post from Chad Prather, and Prather and I are friends, but I do not agree with Prather on a lot of things. But essentially, he made a post on Facebook, and let me look this up for you real quick. And this is the boomer ideology. It's the Gen X that are influenced by the boomer ideology of this church and state being the same. Let me look this up. I should have had this ready. I'm so unprofessional, but whatevs.
You just walk right into this thing.
Walk right into it. Fuck it. Let's just do it.
It's like sit down at the kitchen table.
16 September at 1637. It's a picture of Prather who is praying for somebody, which I'm not against. And I want to delve into this because I think there's a lot of misunderstanding and why I am against church and state being the same. It's a picture of Prather praying. It says, sometimes candidates even pray for you. Put that in your separation of church and state, Prather 2022. Well, okay, let's dissect this then, because I feel like this is just another one of those turning point styled little posts real quick of like, America's God, and blah, 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 blah. Okay. Why are we speaking in absolutes here? I think a lot of these people don't understand that the separation of church and state doesn't mean that you can't worship. It doesn't mean that you can't pray. It doesn't mean that you can't go to church. In fact, it means the opposite. It means the church and the state should have no influence over the church, and the church should have no influence over the state. And I'm in agreement with that, because if you think about it, if we go the opposite direction, it's a direct violation of the First Amendment. People don't realize back when America was first stood up, I mean, the biggest church, I think, was the Church of England. And people were saying that's the official church. And other sects started coming out. Other religions started coming out. And they were like, well, the state recognizes this one. I was like, well, that's not fair to the other churches, because if we believe in the freedom of religion, then you should acknowledge no church and people should be free to worship as they see fit. So again, this is more theocracy under the guise of freedom. Like, people don't understand. Like, this isn't an absolute. It's not saying all or nothing. It's saying that the separation of church and state protects you from the government. The government should have no say-so over this. And the church should have no say-so over the government. It shouldn't. Because if it did, then we go back to the Renaissance period where the Pope basically dictated to the kings of the world saying, this is what you're going to do, or you're threatened with excommunication. It rolls into this. So people don't seem to understand that when you preach these things, it's a very dangerous slope to go down, because where does it stop?
So does the Pope have any influence on...
Fuck the Pope.
On politics right now? I mean, because
he's trying. No,
regularly comes out and gives his opinion.
Which I think he should probably not do. Like, when it comes like the Pope. Oh, that's another
article
we're going to get to.
Do you think that sways politics either way?
I think the church. I think the church has lost all power, which it should. It should have no bearing over.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think it should have no bearing on our political system.
I'm not Catholic.
Yeah, I feel like it's just one of those things. And this isn't like bad-mouthing people that are religious. I believe in God. I believe in Christ. I believe in all of the Bible. But what I don't believe in is forcing someone to adhere to biblical laws, if you will. It's like, well, we were founded on Christian, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, well, of the 10 commandments, how many of them are actually law? And I was like, that, where does it stop? So the best way is to not let it get involved and you just stay in your lane and be tolerant of people. It's a very simplistic idea. So this church and state being the same, these boomers pushing this, I'm telling you, this is not the right way to go. It's the separation of church and state, and it should be that way. Like, how can you sit there? Well, I mean, I know why they do it. They push it because they feel like the majority of Americans are Christian, and therefore that should be the main guiding religion. Well, what if the tables turn eventually, ladies and gentlemen? What if those tables turn and we become predominantly Muslim? Oh, then that. Oh, wait a minute. No. That ain't gonna fly, mister. No, sir. Then we believe in the separation of church and state, because as long as it's not our religion that's the majority, well, then we have an issue with it. Do y'all not see the hypocrisy in this thought process? And people instantly go back to, well, we were founded on this. You're right. And we were also founded on freedom. We were also founded on this idea of freedom of religion. And many people don't agree with that. That's fine. You think you're preaching freedom of religion when you sit there and say that we should be mandating. Like, no, absolutely not. So that's why I'm throwing my thing with Alan West. I hope Alan West doesn't let us down. Like, I really don't. I think Greg Abbott's doing good things now, but too little too late, bro. Like, you had your chance. And come election year, then you start grabbing your balls and doing shit. No, I want a politician that's going to go in there and wreck shop right from the get-go, saying, this is wrong, don't give a fuck what you think, this is what I'm doing. Yeah. Like, I wish we had more Kristi Noems. I wish we had more of her.
Yeah. Well, I think Alan West, even though he's a religious guy, I mean, he goes to my church. Yeah. But just listening to you talk at my church, he's pretty deep, and you can tell that he really would just be guided more by principle than anything else. So I'm going to vote for him.
Absolutely.
I heard that Beto's going to throw his hat back in the ring.
That's what he's saying. Yeah, absolutely. You got to love it.
Do you think that maybe he's just trying to get more money? He's convincing people that he could win.
I don't know what he's thinking. Like, if you lose a presidential election,
because you get paid for that stuff, right? You get paid while you're running for governor.
So yeah,
raising millions and millions of dollars. So he's got to convince people that he can probably win.
100%. Yeah.
So
that's what's funny to me. Like, he already failed once, and it's like, and you failed miserably. Yeah. I mean, people said that he almost took Texas. It's like, no, you didn't. Like, no, you're not. You're not going to. But
especially not now that they've changed the voting. You got to bring an ID.
That's racist. That's racist, man. What's wrong with you? And I'm already pissing off people on YouTube talking about, like, Sharia law would be good for some of you. Like, yeah, okay, let's just beat the shit out of our women and stuff. And then one other guy in the comments, like, 1 second you're saying, boomers are full of shit, and then be tolerant. Like, I don't see how that's hypocritical. I see that as respecting people's differences of opinion and religion, but don't force it on people, hence the separation of church and state. I'm sorry that some of you are too fucking stupid to understand this. Like, I really am. Like, it's like you sit there and you break it down Barney style and you dissect it and say, look, this is why. And then you're like, yeah, and you just shit on yourself and you throw it back. Yeah, you're just stupid. Shut the fuck up. All right. Here we go. Biggest news that has been circulating. I love being me. I love pissing people off. Like, you're not gonna listen to my show and just have the feel goods. It ain't gonna happen. That's not what we're here for. That's not what I'm here for. Embrace the asshole in all of you. Like, embrace, not physically. I'm just talking about, like, I mean, if you're into that, do your thing. Yeah, you do what you want. Embrace your own asshole.
It's another show.
That's a show for another
different
time.
Podcast altogether.
Sorry, boomers on YouTube. I'm sorry if I pissed you off. You're not gonna fucking get, like, the feel goods over here. It ain't gonna happen. So the biggest thing was there was a January 6th support rally this weekend. I think it was Saturday in D.C. and they were prepping hard for this. Like, the Capitol fences went back up. Suddenly they believe in borders again, and suddenly they believe in walls. And it was the most dismal showing. And you go look at the videos of this, and I think there was more press there than actual protesters. But that wasn't even the kicker to this whole incident. That wasn't even the biggest thing. The biggest thing was that the Capitol Police arrested a Fed.
Oh, yeah.
And it's all over the internet. If you've not seen this, you need to go see it. The Capitol Police surrounded. It shows, like, somebody's walking up with a camera, and they show this guy who's standing there, and he's got his mask on, he's got shades, I think he's got a fade, But you can clearly tell it's like something ain't right about this. So the dude's sitting there is like, you know, he's searching him. He's like, you got a gun on? He's like, yeah. And then you see him reach in and he pulls out his badge, and you see the badge, and the guy's like, yep. And the guy that he's arresting is pretending like, yeah, I'm just here. I'm just here. And he's not saying he's a Fed, but he's trying to let this guy know subtly through body language, like, bro, you got the wrong fucking guy. I'm on your side. The Capitol Police arrest a Fed, and it's fucking hilarious. It's hilarious. That was the biggest takeaway of this whole ordeal. And I know.
FBI, you say?
FBI.
Wow.
Go figure. And then there's pictures circulating. These memes are circulating everywhere of all these FBI guys that are dressed up to blend in, and they look like Abercrombie and Fitch military models, like the low fade or the high fades, glasses. They have rolled shorts. And it's almost looked like these are the type of guys that would like look at a woman and be like, you know, my dad's rich. Like, let's go take the yacht out. Like, you can clearly tell these guys are not normal protesters.
Preston, let's go take the yacht out.
I say, Xavier, let us go protest with these people. They'll never know. We'll blend right in with the peasant class.
Jeffrey,
I say. It's just too fucking funny. But what happens is they wind up not touching this guy's gun from what the video shows. They take the badge, and then they form a diamond around him, and they escort him out. So, like, clearly his cover has been blown, and they're getting him out of there before anything comes to, you know, anything comes of harm to this guy, which I don't think it will. And it made news, and people are laughing their asses off. It's like, talk about like not talking between agencies. And this is maybe why the Capitol Police are being laughed at right now, because, you know, January 6th, you failed. On this one, you seem to have failed. It's like, maybe we should defund those Capitol Police because they're kind of fucking worthless.
Them and the FBI.
Oh my God. It's just hilarious.
It keeps proving to be completely worthless. The only thing they have is tools to spy on us.
Yeah, exactly.
And to set us up.
Exactly. So
didn't they do the same thing in Michigan?
Oh my God!
With the kidnapping of Whitmer.
There was
That was the FBI, right?
I'm not 100% certain on that one. I don't know.
I think it was where they went in and they tried to convince these Trump supporters to go kidnap Whitmer.
I don't remember.
Really, you didn't hear about that?
No.
Interesting.
Maybe I just wasn't paying attention. I don't know.
Well,
this article comes from The Hill. It is so. Did it happen? Okay. Far-right rally draws small crowd, large police presence at Capitol. Where was all this for January 6th? Several hundred pro-Trump demonstrators gathered outside the Capitol on Saturday to protest the treatment of those charged in connection with the deadly January 6th insurrection. A crowd that seemed to be dwarfed by the outside presence of news media. Even they admit it. But it's The Hill. They're a right-leaning publicist, so naturally they're going to be anything in pro-Trump. So a crowd that seemed to be dwarfed by the outside presence of the news media and police forces on hand to monitor the event. Fearing another violent riot like that of January 6th, at least they called it a riot, U.S. Capitol Police had joined forces with other local and federal law enforcement agencies, creating a massive security apparatus that featured road closures, layers of fencing, and hundreds of officers. National Guard Corps on standby, a cavalry lying in wait, and helicopters buzzing overhead. And I think they said it was like 200 to 300 that turned out for this. All that taxpayer money, ladies and gentlemen, for what? For what? Jonathan Allen, verified Twitter checkmark, says, still seems like more press than protesters. Less than one demonstrator per member of Congress at the scheduled event begins. We gave our message. Everybody knew this was a trap. They knew this was a trap. Yeah. Like, it was circulating in all the communities. I saw it all over the internet. Like, if you go to fool me once, shame on you. If you go to this thing, like, good luck. Good luck. It's a trap. Like, don't fall for it. People were waiting. And
the only people they caught were the FBI.
They caught the FBI. Good job.
Way to go, guys.
Good job. Good police.
Yes.
Good detective work there, Dick. Good detective work. You arrested your own guys. It's great. It's great. We gave our message that there's people being held without their constitutional rights being given them. Now, that's fair enough. Now, if that's what they're protesting, that's fair enough. If these protesters that were arrested are not being given their rights, then yes, that's worthy of protest. And if that's the case, I support that. But if you're sitting there saying that this was bogus, they shouldn't have been arrested for it's like, okay, yeah, that's not true. And then it also came to light that there was, I forget his name. I should have kept the article. A Democrat was arrested, a registered Democrat who is now filing saying, please don't charge me. I was there as an instigator. Like, he was an actual Democrat posing as a Trump supporter. And it's out there. You can look it up. And it's saying, I wonder how many more of these people exist. Like, don't sit there and piss down my neck and tell me it's raining. We knew this was a setup. Like, I mean, after fact, I'm not going to sit there and pretend like I knew first and foremost, but when you see the Capitol Police literally opening barricades, it's like, okay, I mean, it's kind of like, here's the cheese, come get it.
Yeah, I think Trump lost the battle on that one there. He should have I think, had the foresight or had some sort of information to be like, hey, listen, there's probably going to be people who are opposing as Trump supporters or supporting you that are going to start blowing shit up.
I mean, hindsight's 20/20. I mean, I don't know. Trump hasn't always had the best tactics or ability.
He's been right on a lot of stuff.
Oh, he
but
has.
I mean, But this, I think that's, I don't know. It should have been handled better.
Oh yeah, I agree. Okay, so out the show. Well, let's start out this segment with a soundbite from good old Fauci, and this is going to blow your mind because now a while back Fauci said he wasn't for vaccines, he wasn't for any of this stuff. I played it on the air, and here we have Fauci changing his mind. But listen to what he says, ladies and gentlemen, and listen to the words behind what he's actually saying.
There are a number of people, for one reason or other, who just do not want to comply and get vaccinated. We've got to get them vaccinated. And hopefully they will do it willingly. If not, it will have to be things that will essentially put pressure on them, such as you're not going to work in this particular agency or institution. You're not going to be able to go to this college or this university unless, in fact, you get vaccinated. And I believe that once we start doing that, you will see more and more people willingly get vaccinated. Los Angeles.
Fuck this cocksucker. Fuck him. Because not too long ago, we heard Fauci say the exact opposite. And I'll play it for you again. This is the ridiculousness of it. This is how insane it's gotten, ladies and gentlemen. Like, you sit there and say, like, willingly, but we've got to put pressure. Willingly, we have to pressure them. That's not willingness. That's forced through economic sanctions, in a sense, if you think about it. It's bullshit. Listen to this.
Literally out the window here across the hall at the NIH Clinical Center. During the flu season, the administration of the hospital mandates that I have to get a flu vaccine. Otherwise, I won't be able to see patients the way I usually do. That has not happened ever, to my knowledge, at a national level or even at a state level. So I can see individual institutions mandating a vaccine. I don't see it on a national level, merely because of all the situations you have upon encroaching upon a person's freedom to make their own choice of their own health. Literally out the-
Okay, so you got Fauci saying one thing, and then you got him saying another one entirely. So which is it? Which is it to me? Is it now because, COVID is supposedly so bad? And this is going to enter it, and I should probably end the YouTube stream because I'm probably going to get taken down again if I haven't already for fucking medical misinformation. But I am literally just playing what Fauci, he himself, has said. Literally playing that, ladies and gentlemen. This leads into the segment of Chris Rock comes out. Chris Rock comes out. This is so beautiful. This is so fucking beautiful, ladies and gentlemen. Like, more and more people are starting to wake up to this, and thank God for that. Thank God for that. Now, real quick, I am going to go ahead and end the YouTube channel because, again, they have banned me before for a week for spreading medical misinformation. They didn't like that, so I'm going to be shutting the YouTube channel down. You can come on over to Twitch. Here is the link. You can support me over there. I'm spamming that link in the chat. YouTube, come over to Twitch. Also, I have my alternate YouTube channel that just got monetized, so that's good. That's up and running, and it's still live. I don't think that basically YouTube has caught on to that channel yet because they haven't pulled anything down, thank God. But here is the channel link. Come over to Twitch. Great community. All right, going to be ending the YouTube stream in 3, 2, 1. Losing about almost 500 viewers. That sucks. But anyway, here we go. All right, so now we're getting into it. Chris Rock says he has COVID. And he says, trust me, you don't want this, comedian tweets. And then he encourages people to get vaccinated. Wait a minute.
Am I stupid?
Am I stupid? I don't know. Am I stupid? Like, wait, so you're telling me that you were vaccinated, and then you got COVID, and then you're telling people that it sucks, so go get vaccinated? What the fuck are you on about? Like, how retarded do you think people are? And I mean, I'm being sincere. Like, you're fucking retarded. Do you still buy into this bullshit anymore? Like, I mean, come on. There comes a point when you need to stop and look at the what people are saying and understand, like, this is a scam. This is a fucking scam. Everything has been doctored. The numbers are lying. They're fudged. All scientific facts and data should be questioned because now we've seen a weaponized, politicized system of government, the FDA, the WHO, the CDC, all sitting there trying to speak unanimously the same fucking things, and anyone that offers like a contrary point of view, they're silenced or counter. They're silenced. They're suppressed. The information can't get out there. Social media censors it. Says no. You can't say this. You can't go contrary. When you do that, you're creating more people to question why the fuck you're even saying that. Like, if your science has been proven, then let the science speak for itself. But when you censor people, you do the exact opposite. So Fauci comes out saying this shit. We should force them. They should be forced. They should do it willingly, but if they don't, then we should, in a way of like sanctioning them, force them to do it. Like, fuck Fauci. Fuck this cocksucker, dude. Like, I just don't get it. I don't understand this. So you got Chris Rock coming out there saying this. Comedian and actor Chris Rock revealed Sunday that he has tested positive for COVID-19 and he's using the opportunity to urge others to get vaccinated against the virus. This is coming from CNN Entertainment. CNN itself is saying this. On his verified Twitter account, Rock posted, "Hey guys, I just found out I have COVID. Trust me, you don't want this. Get vaccinated." Chris Rock was actually vaccinated back in May. The former Saturday Night Live cast member didn't comment on his condition, and his representatives did not immediately return a request from CNN to further comment. Rock told Jimmy Fallon on an episode of The Tonight Show in May that he received Johnson & Johnson vaccine and joked that he used a star status and skipped the line in getting it. "I used my celebrity, Jimmy," Rock said. "I didn't care. I was like, hey, step aside, Betty White. Step aside, old people. Judge Judy. People who are fully vaccinated can still get COVID-19. There are called breakthrough cases, but being immunized greatly reduces the risk of hospitalization or death. Greatly reduces the risk of a virus with a 98, 99% survivability rating." This doesn't add up. This doesn't add up.
Here's the thing with these vaccines, too. So Pfizer in 2006 came out with Shantax,
Yep.
all right, to stop smoking.
Yep.
Right? So 2006, FDA approved it, and back in July, they started recalling it because it said there's a chemical in it that was causing cancer. So now, what's the math on that? How many years ago was that? 2006?
Yeah, that's not that long ago.
It's 2021 now.
Just to show that the science can be wrong.
So
it can be
it's
changed,
been,
yeah.
15 years?
Can they be sued for that?
I don't know if they can or not. Probably. I'm sure there's going to be some sort of class action lawsuit
They can
at
go
some
class
point.
act. But and that's the point that I'm also saying is that with the Johnson and Pfizer, they have government protection. So fuck no.
Yeah.
There is no reason for them to be very careful of releasing a drug or a vaccine or whatever that could cause secondary or tertiary negative side effects. So if essentially the system is rigged to where nobody can sue them for putting out a shitty product, that'd be like us pushing out a CBD product that essentially that we say, oh, by the way, this can cure cancer, this can do this, and then it doesn't, and yet nobody can sue us for it. You've rigged the system. You've rigged the game. There is no blowback that would make me be a better and honest businessman. It's essentially saying that I can do and say whatever I want. I can put harmful shit in my products and then say, oh, by the way, we put a little bit of arsenic in it. But then we push it out there. You buy it. You die from it. You can't sue me because now I'm protected. But in the best interest of a company and shareholders and all these things, it behooves you not to do that because then your company goes bankrupt and you're out of money. So when you rig the system and you change how it's done, why I don't trust you. There's no ramifications of your negative actions.
That and just there hasn't been enough testing on these things that you're putting into your body.
Follow the science.
Yeah, so
follow the science.
I'll take a hard pass on it for right now.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, therapeutics, sure. If there's stuff that's been around for 50, 60 years, sure. I'll give that a shot.
I'll
give monoclonal antibodies a shot. Why not?
Why not?
Hydroxychloroquine? Don't mind if I do.
But now, they even talked about like if natural herd immunity, like your natural antibodies. And they said that's how they test for a lot of things out there. If your body has naturally occurring antibodies. And again, I think the situation that the majority of us are facing right now is that we're not scientists. We don't understand a lot of this. But a lot of us are smart enough to look at the data they are presenting to us.
Just a caveman.
I'm just a caveman. That's all we are. But when you're giving me these scientific facts, this data, and it's not making sense, and it's not that complicated to say, well, hey, at first it was the vaccine, and it's not even a vaccine, by the way, because, if I get like the smallpox vaccine, I won't get smallpox. If I get the anthrax vaccine, I'm not going to get anthrax or
measles.
Stuff like that. But if I get this vaccine and I can still get COVID, then what the fuck is it? Oh, no, it just reduces the symptoms.
It's not what you said.
That's not what you said. That's not what you said. You said if we get this vaccine, We'll be protected. And then you even said if you get the vaccine, you don't have to wear a mask. And then Fauci comes out, like, oh no, you got to wear 2 masks. You got to wear 2 masks. I wish somebody would punch that cocksucker in the face.
Right,
I can't say what I hope happens to him. I'll get banned. But these motherfucking tyrants, I'm telling you, remember these motherfuckers. Remember these businesses that treated you like this. Remember those that turned a blind eye to the persecution or attempted persecution of those that did not want the shot. Remember these motherfuckers, and they should be held accountable when time comes. When you're a business and you say you can't come here unless you're vaccinated and show proof, remember that. Don't ever fucking vote with your dollars. Vote with your fucking money. Don't give them. These are supporters of tyranny, tyranny. We're gonna get freedom. These are supporters of that. Why would you ever give them your money? Because they would easily just put you on that train car. Easily, because if their safety is brought into jeopardy, oh fuck these other motherfuckers. That's how they are. And they will not refute the data. They will just simply say, bah, yeah, wear a mask, bah, get the vaccine, bah. But you're sitting here saying, like, look, Chris Rock came out and said, I've got it, but you should get it. You should get the vaccine even though I got COVID, which lessens the symptoms and risk of dying of a virus that has a 98, 99% survivability rate. Like that doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. In fact, people who are not vaccinated against COVID-19 were 11 times more likely to die of the disease and 10 times more likely to be hospitalized with the disease. A study published earlier this month by the U.S. Oh, I'm so over this. I'm so fucking over this. Your science has changed so much in the last year, nobody believes it anymore. Nobody buys it, including myself. You want to get vaccinated? Go get vaccinated. You want to go do your thing? Do your thing. I'm not. Refuse
Stop
to.
telling me to.
Yeah. We should pressure them more to go get the vaccine. Dude. Please have a swift and mild case and a full recovery. Hurry, we need you, tweeted Larry Charles, the Seinfeld producer and writer. Suck my left nut. What a fucking douche canoe. And then you have this new one, apparently, because Josh asked me before the show, is like, did you watch the Emmys last night? I was like, I didn't even know the Emmys were on. I don't watch that shit. I don't give a fuck about the Hollywood elites. We're seeing more and more about the rich Hollywood elites, or the elites in general. Apparently, AOC's dressmaker, did you see this one? Owes a lot of money to the IRS. A lot in back taxes and a lot to employees. Yes. So AOC, that's out, and this just broke, and I'm laughing my ass off. This woman who was with AOC, because we know we need minorities out represented in the Met Gala. You know, we need to have more minorities out there. But you need more black and brown people at these rich elite events because that's all about equality. We don't have enough black people represented in the gala where it's $30,000 for a ticket. Okay. Right. Okay. Right. Yeah. Okay. And then it comes out and the dressmaker owes a shitload of money in back taxes, wages to employees across multiple states. You can go look this up. This is real. And you're sitting there and you're simping for financial equality, yet the person that you're working with has not given fair wages to their own employees. How fucking tone deaf and out of touch do you have to be? These are socialists. These are how stupid they are.
They're dummies.
They're fucking idiots.
Total dummies. She's a total dummy.
She is. And these people get elected. And then you got your Marjorie Taylor Greens on the opposite side. It's like, who the fuck elected this person? They're stupid.
That's why it makes me believe that there's rampant election fraud. Because I don't think Americans are that dumb to vote for someone who's a complete dummy.
Bro, I don't know. We vote.
If you're in that position, you should know that the top 1% pay 40% of total taxes. You should know that.
Well, yeah.
And then
if it goes contrary to the narrative, they're not going to say anything about that.
I mean, you should know that. You should have that information. It's readily available.
Maybe we should shift the focus. Maybe socialists and the rest of these people on the left should shift the focus to saying, look, instead of 40% paying, or the top 1% paying the 40 to 41% in taxes, maybe instead of blaming them, we should instead look at the government saying, why are you fucking charging so much in taxes? Why is that? Maybe we should start questioning the source of the problem versus finger pointing at those actually helping fix the problem.
Yeah, like when
they should pay their fair share. They do.
Trump lowered the corporate tax rate, so
it creates more jobs.
Yeah, it creates. Well, more companies brought their companies back over to the United States, so they were paying
back
more
into the economy. Yes,
taxes here because it wasn't anybody.
Stop. What is wrong with you? Stop with the basic common sense economics. What the fuck is wrong with you, Josh? Stop it.
I guess have to run for office.
You no, you won't get elected. You make too much sense. You should be out there like bartending and shit and then get elected because that apparently qualifies you to represent your constituency base.
Yeah, apply for it. Would she like audition for it? She auditioned for the part of.
It's something. There was something with them and the Young Turks apparently that I don't know.
Why would you make a good congressman?
Because I got the crazy eyes and the horse face and I sound good and I represent the mindless idiots out there. Emmy viewers call out celebs for not wearing masks, social distancing at 2021 show. This is the Emmys. Viewers noted that those working at the Emmys venue were made to wear masks to protect the stars from COVID-19. This is what it's all about right here. Now look, you know me. I'm by no means a conspiracy theorist. But now it has become, I'm like one of those late type of dudes. It's kind of like, oh, now. I'm the one looking at the painting on the wall that's like the 3D eye one. That I'm sitting there staring at it for like 30 minutes going, I just don't see the picture.
You and then once focus.
Yeah, and then once everybody else has moved on, then I'm like, oh, now I'm a little late to the party.
It's a schooner.
It's a shark. Fuck me. I didn't see that. And everybody's like, well, we kind of told you. It's like, well, I had to see it myself. I'm seeing it. This is a separation between the economic classes right here, ladies and gentlemen. When you have people in the political side of the spectrum calling for masks, calling for vaccinations, calling for passports, for all of this stuff, and then you see the leftist elites not doing it, what does that tell you? It's about control of the lower economic class. That's what it's about. Viewers noted that those working at the Emmys venue were made to wear masks to protect stars from COVID-19. I forget who it was. I don't know if it's TMZ or somebody. They did this little short special on AOC's dress. And you see her in the dressing room. You can look this up. You see her in the dressing room. And you got someone doing her makeup. And everybody around her wearing a mask. Her and her little butt buddies, nobody's wearing a mask. Why is that? Why is that, ladies and gentlemen? If it's rules for thee and not for me, is that right? That goes to tell you it's not a pandemic. They're not that afraid. Mm-hmm. If they were afraid, they'd be wearing triple masks. They're not.
They wouldn't be there.
Fuck no,
they would still be in their penthouse
100%.
Apartments.
They'd be behind their walls, protected by guns, claiming the very same things that you want for your household is wrong, even though they have it. This is the separation. So I get where socialists are like, eat the rich. Yes. Why don't you start eating the same people that you're defending, like AOC? Why don't you do that, Hassan Piker? Why don't you do that instead of demonizing people like Nicki Minaj, who comes out there? And we're going to get to this one. Nicki Minaj, who's still fighting back. And then Hassan's saying, well, you know, Tucker Carlson's a white nationalist. Why don't you, socialists, put the money that you want to take from other people and put it where your fucking mouth is? But you won't do that because you're fucking hypocrites like Hassan and the rest of these morons. But this just blows my mind. The Emmys were skewered on social media as viewers took to notice the lack of coronavirus safety measures, specifically masks, which proves they don't even think masks work.
No.
The 2021 awards show that was one of the first to return to the typical in-person format following more than a year of delayed adjustment and ceremonies like the Oscars and Golden Globes. Few of the stars in attendance on Sunday were seen on the broadcast wearing masks or observing social distancing guidelines. We also saw this with AOC when she was sitting on the steps, I think it was at the Capitol, getting a photo op, no masks, and then as soon as the photos get raised, she's putting the mask on. You've seen this. This is not up for debate. This is fact. You can see the videos. So any leftists out there, whether they be on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, CNN, doesn't matter. You cannot defend this. You can't. And if you do, you are only trying to do it because you have a hypocritical bias and you're defending those because you want to suck their dick or lick their asshole. That's the only reason you're doing this. If you truly cared about the pandemic, if you truly cared about human life, like you so eloquently say so many times on all of your podcasts, all of your streams, all of your so-called debates, you would be calling these people out, but you won't because your identity is so wrapped up in leftist politics that anything that is basically giving any kind of leeway to the right, you will not do. You will not do. These charlatans are fucking liars, and they do it on the right as well. They do it on the right as well. The 2021 awards show, although the host, Cedric the Entertainer, noted on the broadcast that everyone in attendance had to show proof of vaccination, by the way, which has been proven does not stop the spread, as well as test negative for COVID-19. But didn't they also say you can be asymptomatic? You can have it and not show symptoms for like up to 2 weeks. Did that science change? I forget. Did that science change?
It did change for the red carpet.
Oh, fuck. That's right. Because, COVID's
there's
woke.
A red carpet.
Oh, my God.
It will change.
100%.
That is right.
Stars like Seth Rogen came out swinging at the lack of requirements. He wasn't the only one. After more than at least these hypocrites are being honest with their hypocrisy. I can respect that. After more than a year and a half of various mandates and guidelines designed to curtail the spread of coronavirus, many were upset to see A-list celebrities having a celebration that seemingly included none of those things. It didn't take long before viewers took to Twitter to slam Emmys for not practicing what many of the stars had preached for roughly the better part of 2 years. Ron Perlman, Ron Perlman, guess where he was this weekend? At the Dallas Fan Day Expo. Guess where I was? At the Dallas Fan Day Expo. That motherfucker, fuck the GOP. I'm not going to Florida because they blah, 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 blah. But that crusty old fuckface, he was sure as Dallas Fan Days. He was there. He didn't want to go to Florida because of Ron DeSantis, but he came to Texas.
Get that check.
Get that check, bro.
Got to get that money.
Because if you really think about it, the nucleus of this whole thing is money. It is money. You know how much these stars are clearing? And I know a few of these stars. I know Christy Swanson. I know Dean Cain. I know these people that go to these things. When they go up, and not them personally, but I've seen stars up there. I think it was, I'd seen Mark Hamill. I've seen Emily Blunt, the woman who was Game of Thrones. They charge, it depends on the star, anywhere from $50 to $200 for an autograph. Or if you want a picture, even more. Or if you want an autograph picture with them, it costs, like some stars, up to $500. And they have lines through the doors. I should have took Instagram photos to show you guys. Like, it was so funny to me because, the Dallas Fan Day, like they said, masks required. Everyone in there is literally nut to butt. I walk in, I have never seen it so crowded in my entire life. Sarah was there. She brought her kids. My girlfriend was there. It was nut to butt.
Where is it?
It was in the Irving or the downtown Dallas fucking Convention Center. Guys, I'm telling you, they were piled in like sardines. Don't tell me that you care about these mandates or you care about COVID when you sit there and you say you have to wear a mask, no proof of vaccination, but you have to wear a mask, but you're jam-packed like sardines. That makes no sense.
Did you see that D-bag, Ron Perlman?
No, I didn't go by his booth. I know he's there because they talked about he's there. Hellboy is there. I was like, interesting. Very interesting. So you figure they have lines out the door.
It would have been so nice just to go over there and just to heckle him.
Oh, I kind of wanted to, but I was like, I'm not standing in line to do that. Like the lines were, you couldn't get close. The lines were insane. But when you sit there and you look at this, these guys, if you figure like just from a brief look, I think there were some stars that had upwards of like 100 people in their line. So let's say they charge, I'm going to do basic math here, and I'm not a mathologist, and I know that's not a word. It's a fucking joke, you idiots out there. Say like you have 100 people in your line, and you're charging $50 for an autograph. You're walking out of there with $5,000. Now, say like, and again, the 100 people, that's undercutting it a lot. There were thousands upon thousands of people, and it's a multi-day event. Let's say realistically, you've got over 1,000 people, and then you're charging $100 for an autograph and a picture. You're clearing $10,000. You're making a lot of money to just sit there, sign autographs, and take pictures. That's it. These fucking A-list celebrities and all these people, or when they spend so much money in their lifestyles, and when the money starts running dry, they start doing these events. Ron Perlman is a fucking hypocrite. He's a liar. This guy's a piece of shit. When, COVID's taking out the wrong people. I'm just going to say it. It's taking out the wrong people. Fuck. Just going to say it. Some noted that it was difficult to see A-list celebrities going maskless while their kids are mandated to wear them for hours per day in schools to avoid massive outbreaks. You see the viral video now of the little toddler being forced to wear a mask at school or daycare, and he's sitting there screaming and crying, and the woman's forcing it on him, and the kid just does not want to wear it. Like, if you've ever had children, you know how difficult that is to even get them to keep their clothes on half the time, or socks or shoes, and this kid is like crying. But these celebrities, they ain't gonna do it. But your kids have to. Where's the fairness in that? Where's the equality in that? Are we not all American citizens? Maybe it is time we started eating the rich, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe it's time that we started calling for equality across the board. And it actually has nothing to do with race and everything with money. Everything with money. If you're rich, you don't play by the rules. If you know people in Washington, you don't play by the rules. And don't you think for a second that Turning Point doesn't have that same type of access. The closer you are to the king, the more rules you get to break. I'm telling you. Watch this, ladies and gentlemen. Watch this. Hollywood stars are currently sitting together maskless in a packed room at the Emmys. Meanwhile, my fully vaccinated kids are forced to wear masks all day at school. What a ridiculous world we're living in. This is from Twitter. Brian Pasanick. Well, he's not blue check mark. That's weird. Requiring kids in school to mask up, but no masks for Emmys. Question a lot of people. Are the Emmys pretending the pandemic is over? No, say maybe it's because there isn't a pandemic. Maybe because there's not. Because if there were, there'd be a lot more dead people. A lot more. If this was as dangerous as they claim it is, there would be more dead people. The Spanish flu killed millions. Millions of people. Well, we've lost 700,000. That you think. Because the data supposedly says that, but we don't know for sure. We don't know if that data has been doctored. We don't know if the federal government has any hand in saying, they clearly said we're going to spend more money on these hospitals treating this. Therefore, they up the number of patients that are dying from COVID because they get a bigger paycheck. Thus, the numbers are going to be inflated. Makes sense to me. Same reason why fucking academia is so goddamn expensive, and healthcare for that reason. The federal government gets involved and they fuck it all up. Seth Rogen starting off the Emmys by addressing the elephant in the room that no one is social distancing or wearing masks, and everyone is essentially squeezed into a giant tent, another added. Masks weren't required at the Emmys tonight because based on how many gals wore red lipstick. It's just nuts to me. And they have every right to be upset. You see these stars sitting there. I see Patrick Stewart. I love Star Trek. But Sir Patrick Stewart is sitting there. If anybody is susceptible to COVID, it's him. He's in his 80s? He's an old fuck.
I'm telling you, if these people get COVID, they're getting hydroxychloroquine, remdesivir.
Yeah. They're getting the shit that works.
Yeah. Yep. You're not going to tell me that they're not doing that stuff.
I agree.
I would. Mm-hmm. They're just hypocrites.
Joe Rogan does it.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan does it, and what happens to him? The press attacks him.
Yeah, he came out and said, this is what I took.
Nicki Minaj starts questioning the status quo. What do? They turn on her. And we're going to get to Nicki, because Nicki is fighting back hard, and she's even calling out the BLM. And I'm like, holy shit. What world are we living in right now? Because I love seeing this. I think at heart, I'm starting to turn more anarchist because I'm loving seeing just the conflict between the two. It's so great to see.
Well, back in the 60s, it was the hippies and all those other people that were protesting war, they're the establishment.
Yep.
They're the establishment now.
Oh yeah.
They want higher taxes, socialism, all this other stuff. They don't want freedom. They want control.
Yeah,
Hypocrites.
That's great. And then you got somebody like Lee Kreger in the chat who says, Nicki Minaj as the sage in this, ? You've got to be kidding me. Burke obviously spends too much time on Romanian deadlifts and not enough time thinking before he talks. Well, Kriegs, it's funny you said that, because I didn't sit there and say that I think Nicki Minaj is just the saint, the patron saint of truth and thoughtfulness, but it's a representation of what is she doing. So what I would encourage you to do, Kriegs, is you shut the fuck up in my stream and you actually sit down and listen before I actually broach the subject and we go into depth on it. I know you think you're smart. I know you think that you're going to come in here, you're going to challenge me, but the truth of the matter is I don't even know who you are, but I could probably whoop your ass in any kind of debate because you're too fucking stupid, because you already opened your mouth before you let me even finish the fucking thought, you retard. Now shut the fuck up before I ban you from my chat. Okay, here we go. Nicki Minaj. Actually, I'm going to approach that when I'm ready for it. I'm not going to address it because this little cocksucker comes in my chat and starts, Bert needs to do more time Romanian deadlift. I'm sorry that your wife probably wants to fuck me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that my dick has abs. I apologize for that. I know that you're probably overweight. You probably slam fucking fat pills left and right, and you want to try and fit shame me, but you can't shame me when I'm not ashamed. Yes, I could probably fuck your wife and your mom at the same time. I'm sorry that I take care of my body. I know you don't like that. I know that probably offends you, but the truth of the matter is you probably could too. You're just too fucking lazy. Instead, you just want to run your little Twitter fingers. Oh, Burke thinks that Nicki Minaj is such a smart person. Last show I brought this up and said, wait a minute. I don't think she's the most intelligent person out there, but it's the representation of what she's doing that means the most in this. So what I would encourage you to do is sit the fuck down and shut your cock-sucking lips and listen to me talk. Just listen for a second and shut the fuck up. How hard is that? I know you want daddy's attention. I know you want daddy to come in there and give you validation by addressing and clapping back. But once I clap back, you're fucking done. You are fucking done. You don't even rate, bro. This isn't your show. This is the John Burke show. You know why? Because my dick is bigger. Actually, I don't know if it is or not. It's just something I like saying because it pisses people off. You're not going to fit shame me. It's not going to work. All right. We're going to get to Nicki Minaj and whoever that retard was. So on the red carpet, you've got pictures of all these A-list celebrities maskless, clearly violating social distance policies. Therefore, they don't believe in it. And again, showcases that even the Hollywood elites that say they believe in this, that were sitting there like we were singing, just imagine there's a peak. Remember when that first kicked off? Everybody was like from their mansion saying, we're in this together. Oh, I said, Ricky, could you bring another spot of that? Reginald, please.
I need another spot of tea, please.
We're all in this together. Like they're sitting there behind their mansions making millions of dollars, not worrying where the next cheeseburger's coming from. And meanwhile, the working class, the middle and lower class, like, hey, we're not working. We're not putting food on the table. We kind of need to work. And they're like, we're in this together. We're in it together, guys. Let's just sing Imagine like Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman. Just imagine there's a people. And in the background, cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. And while other people are like, I just want to feed my kids. That's all I want to do. I want to have a job, please. Again, the divisiveness between the rich elites and the working class people has never been more visual than now. You're seeing it firsthand, but people on the left are ignoring this. They're ignoring this. All right, here we go. Okay, so douchebag in the chat. I'm not sure where this guy is. If you see his name or whatever, make sure you fucking message that little cocksucker. Nicki Minaj rages at reporters for threatening my family in Trinidad. Bitch, your days are fucking numbered. Whew. Whew. She's going after him. Now, for mental midget in the chat that doesn't understand the relevance behind this, it's not saying Nicki Minaj is smart or an intelligent person. Although in the business realm, you don't make it to her level by being stupid. I mean, well, no, I have to take that back. Some people do. You had like Tech 6ix9ine, the rest of those morons that are kind of like fucking snitch, whatever. Some people just get lucky. But Nicki Minaj goes out there, and it's the representation of a now sit down. Now sit down if you're listening to this. That you're whoever that douchebag in the chat was. Sit down and listen to Daddy Burke tell you and explain it to you, because apparently you don't realize because you're too stupid. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here to break this down, because I'm not the smartest dude out there, but there's a lot of people out there in this world that are dumber than me that I can hope educate, and this guy is one of them. And I'm not even going to Romanian deadlift while telling you that. I haven't done deadlifts in forever because it fucks up my back. Anyway, it's the representation of a black woman questioning the status quo. And a lot of people on her side that she was originally for were leftist BLM supporters. And instantly, the moment she steps up and questions the narrative or the status quo, the very same side that said we should empower black women, we should empower women, we should empower minorities, we should let them speak, instantly attacks her, which showcases that the left doesn't give a fuck about minorities or equality. They give a fuck about the elite, rich, white liberals getting their way, and then those that are black in their movement that are rich as well. It's not even about race anymore. It's about money. It's about political pawns being used. Barack Obama did it.
Power.
Let me be clear. You can keep your doctor. That wasn't true. That was a fucking lie. That was a lie. And it was not weaponized. It was basically using minorities as a political gambit to gain more votes. That's why they didn't want to close the border. They wanted more people to come over and vote left and get more access to government subsidy programs. That's what they do. So Nicki Minaj coming out there saying this, saying, hey, as a black woman, I am questioning. I mean, she didn't say that, but it's a representation. It's symbolic. But as a black woman saying, wait a minute, something's not right. I heard from somebody. Again, it's anecdotal. I understand that. But it's the simple fact that she questions the status quo as a black left-leaning Democrat, and they go after her. So what happened to support black women? What happened to support minority votes that too? Supporting minority businesses or minority voices, excuse me. What happened to that? Or women in general? It went away. Instantly, they try demonizing her. They try attacking her credibility. They try going after her character and assassinating that. That is what they do. So don't sit there and tell me that you're for pro-black women voices, and then when a black woman steps up, it's like, wait a minute. They're like, oh my God, kill her. The pitchforks come out, the tar and feathers, whatever you want to call it. Everybody gets so upset. So Nicki Minaj is showcasing that, hey, maybe a lot of these rich Hollywood elites are saying, we're kind of fed up with this, start questioning, and it just showcases how the left doesn't actually give a fuck about you. It's about power. That's all it is. So I hope the douchebag in the chat, I forget his name because did that educate you a little bit? I hope it did. I hope you learn from this and you kind of realize the symbolicism behind this and why the left is actually kind of fucking stupid. So, again, Nicki Minaj is waking up, and she's also going to influence and empower other leftist Democrats to wake up. I'm waiting for Cardi B because I think that's coming.
Do you think so?
I think Cardi B's coming. And again, and a lot of people are like, well, these people are stupid. You're right. But these stupid people also influence a lot of other stupid people. And guess what? They vote. And if you can change those votes to come over to the other side, guess what happens? Oh,
wait a minute. Do you think
then we see
Twitter's
a shift
going to
in the
suspend
paradigm?
her account?
I don't know if she says she's done with Twitter. I don't know if she is or not.
What about Instagram?
She's all over Instagram. She's posting. Let me see if I can look up because she was attacking the BLM. I know Amory King posted it. I'm going to read. Basically, from what happened is they went after her family in Trinidad, and she doxed the reporters. She got their numbers because the reporters were essentially threatening her and her family rather. And she said, "Bitch, I ain't standing for it." And she doxed them. And so Nicki Minaj is fighting back. And I respect the fuck out of that because she's not allowing the echo chamber to influence her into silencing herself and asking questions. And all they've done, and it basically, again, this is symbolic. All she's doing is saying, do your research, figure out if it's right for you. She even said, I'm probably going to get the vaccination before going on tour. But the simple fact that she raised her hand and said, wait, I have a question, and they attacked her for it, only goes to show that these people will eat their own if you question the narrative, if you question the status quo. And that's what's so fucking sad about this whole thing. So That's why this whole Nicki Minaj thing is so mainstream right now, because she's going to influence more people in speaking out and questioning the narrative, as she should. So, douchebag in chat, you're a fucking idiot. Okay, Nicki Minaj also posted in her Instagram story. She said, y'all got to stop pretending to love people with backbones. If Malcolm, and this is powerful, like, I'm honestly impressed with her at this point with what she's saying. Now, I don't know if it's her writing this or somebody else giving the words, but this is good. This is good because she's right. Y'all got to stop pretending to love people with backbones. If Malcolm X were here, he'd be asking questions, and most of y'all that holler Black Lives Matter and protect black women would be telling him to shut up and fall in line. Y'all say these people's names but embody the spirit of a coward. Holy fuck. She's right. If Malcolm X were here today, he would be on the right. Or maybe not right. Maybe he'd be more centrist. I don't know. But he certainly wouldn't be a Democrat.
No, I think you'd be like a libertarian.
Think he'd be a libertarian?
Yeah, he wouldn't be a GOP. I don't think he'd be a Democrat either. That's But
where people are waking up to this, they're understanding.
I don't know. And these times, I think you're safer to lean conservative rather than.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm a centrist myself. Yeah. I would like right down the middle.
You got to play the game. But the point is, if Nicki Minaj can influence more Democrats to come over to the right and vote right, that's a good thing. That is a very good thing. So Nicki Minaj is influencing a lot of black people that follow her, saying, wait a minute. Like, they're sitting there asking, like, it's waking them up. They're opening their eyes and they're seeing firsthand. And it's like, look, this is what's happening. They are attacking Nicki for just questioning this. Remove race altogether out of it. Just the simple fact that she stood up and asked questions and was demonized instantly by the press. I called it. I've said it numerous times. The number one enemy of truth and America is the press. It is the press. MSM, social media, big tech, they are in bed with the government. They control it. They control all flow of information. And then they change it to fit the political narrative. The vaccination is the number one point right now. And we're actually literally seeing firsthand Milton Friedman's idea of abolishing the FDA come to pass, in a sense of there will be guinea pigs. Talk about last show. There will be guinea pigs that will come forward and say, I will get the vaccine, even before it's been given the FDA approval. You're always going to have those guinea pigs, which is a good thing. But it's the government involvement that bothers me the most, by the government saying, hey, we're going to allow this, we won't allow this. What gives you the right to dictate what Americans can do with their bodies? Yeah. I don't agree with that, especially with medication. But if law is allowed to run its course and tort law comes into play and you can sue for damages, then it behooves a company to make sure before they release a product, the fucking thing works and it has no negative side effects. You were bringing up on a medication. You talk about the FDA approved. For those that don't know, go look up medications that the FDA has approved all throughout time that actually did damage they had to do recalls on. Yeah. The FDA does not always get it right. Milton Friedman discussed this. He talked about many medications that were released in Europe that were not released in America that actually did great things in Europe that did not do good, or they essentially America was like, no, we're not going to do it. Go look up these clips on, just go Google Milton Friedman FDA abolishment, and you will see firsthand, and he makes really good points. Yeah. But we're seeing firsthand right now why we don't even fucking need an FDA. Let the people choose. Let the people choose.
It should be less regulation.
Less regulation.
Less government involvement.
We don't need the government. Let the people do their thing.
Yeah.
And that's the problem that we have right now.
So the government didn't make the United States great.
No.
The people
Yes. Did. Yes, 100%.
And you just got these people in office right now. The only thing that they want is power and money.
Power and money.
They want to be kings and queens themselves, I think.
It's a power grab.
You know, they miss those old days over in England where you could rule over people,
tell them what to do. The rich get richer.
Bend down and kiss the ring.
Rap superstar Nicki Minaj slammed journalists Friday for harassing and threatening her family, sharing purported text message screenshots to her massive social media accounts, and escalating the alarming rhetoric by telling one reporter, your days are fucking numbered. Watch, they're going to mute Nicki. They're going to ban her from social media, and then you're going to see. Then you're going to see.
They're going to make an example of her. That way,
if they're stupid, they will.
Yep. Wants to say something.
They did it to Trump, and the left had no problem.
Oh, yeah.
And now we're going to see that sword come back the opposite direction. And all you leftist Democrats, wait a minute, that's not right. It's like, oh, now you
think
don't
you're more
like
powerful
it.
than the president of the United States?
That's what I'm saying. Now you don't like it when it comes back and it fucking cuts off the heads of your own people. Then you have an issue with it. It's the same with the executive orders. Called this before. Then you've got a problem with it. But meanwhile, we're sitting here saying, hey, guys, look, I know we have a difference of a political opinion, but this thing that you're supporting right now, it's aimed at us, but eventually that gun's going to turn right back on you. And when it does, don't expect me to speak. I mean, I will. I'll speak out for it. It's like, this is still bullshit. But don't sit there and cry fucking victim when you didn't give a shit when it was targeting the right. But now when it comes back, and it will target the left, it's already started. Once it does, then you cry victim. And the GOP does it too. Let's not pretend like both sides don't do this. But it's just the hypocrisy of this. Minaj has been feuding with corporate media ever since expressing skepticism about coronavirus vaccines when she tweeted last week that she was skipping the Met Gala because of his vaccine requirements. The rapper claimed that a friend of a cousin in her native country of Trinidad and Tobago experienced impotency after getting a COVID vaccine. Minaj did not specify which vaccine he received. She should have never said that. She just said, hey, I'm questioning some things being about some things I've heard, whatever. But when you give an example like that, it's like, ooh, you're opening yourself up on that one because that's anecdotal. You can't prove that. Apparently, the guy that has it, they're searching for him, and even his own country's denying it, his own country's doctors. But don't sit there and pretend like these people are not in bed together. They are, 100%. Minaj did not specify which vaccine. According to the Trinidad and Tobago Newsday, the primary vaccine being distributed in the country is the Chinese-developed Sinopharm. Again, we talked about that last show, and you're smiling because you're thinking the same. Like, wait. The same country that, by the way, Fauci funded to research the Wuhan lab. It was proven in the emails. The very same country that developed this now creates their own vaccine. It's almost like the creators of the sickness are now selling you the pill.
Yeah. If you're going to create a super virus, then you might want to have a cure for it.
Or they do, and.
Yeah, if you're,
they're making money hand over fist.
These guys are scumbags.
They're fucking douchebags. Yeah,
I'm wondering why the world isn't more outraged at China for releasing this virus.
Well, the left won't, because if they do, they're xenophobes. Apparently.
Well, I mean, it's even the United States. There should be more pushback. Trump was the only person calling it China. It is the China virus.
It's a China virus. Yeah,
that's exactly what it is. They released that virus to the world, and according to Fauci. Taxpayers funded it through his guidance.
In the purported text messages Minaj shared on Friday, someone who identifies herself as a reporter, Charlene Rampersad of The Guardian Media Limited, a media company headquartered in Port of Spain, Trinidad and Tobago, appeared to be speaking with someone in Trinidad who knows the rapper, requesting an interview. Just letting you know, CNN is in the country looking for you, one purported text message reads. And Nicki shared these texts. And then when they find you, they won't hesitate to reveal where you live or where your girlfriend lives. Anything and anyone who is tied to you, the screenshot says. If you speak to me, we won't reveal those details. It's like almost threatening you, saying, hey, CNN's after you.
That is threatening.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Like, CNN's after you. They're going to reveal everything about you. Okay. But if you speak to us, we won't reveal it. Like, wow. In Instagram stories, Minaj intimidated the reporter named in the screenshots, writing, threatening my family in Trinidad won't bode well for you. They're forcing my family to have to hide out, the rapper added. This is what speaking up looks like. Millions of poor people are threatened this way by people you think are the good guys. This is, this is unconscionable. Charlene Rampersad says, bitch, your days are fucking numbered, you dirty hoe. Minaj added in another Instagram story. Charlene, bitch, pick up your phone, ho. She said in another post. Oh, my God. You love to see it.
Oh,
you love to see it.
I'd like to see the reenactment of it.
Fuck yes. That'd be great. I love this. This is so good. I'm just sitting here with my popcorn. Is that douchebag still in the chat? Oh, okay. He's probably off doing Romanian deadlifts. Whatever.
How do you get
you don't make it to this level being an idiot. I'm sorry. You just don't. John Burke is too opinionated. You're goddamn right I am. That's why people fucking love and hate me, because you know where I stand. I'm not one of you little cocksuckers like, well, I don't have an opinion because I don't want people to hate me. Who gives a fuck? Unless you feed, fuck, or finance me, I don't give a shit. Guardian Media Limited released a statement on Friday that appeared to accuse Minaj of intimidation and aggression on social media while you sit there and you hunt down her family and you make these passive-aggressive threats. Fuck off. As well as subjecting the company's journalists to a range of attacks via social media, including death threats. Oh, you poor little things. You poor little things you met with. Good. More of you fake-ass journalists like Jim Acosta. You should be threatened. You should be in fear of your life from the misinformation and propaganda that you fucking spread and lives that you ruin. Fuck you. Fuck these pieces of shit. Journalists on both sides. You've got no problem throwing someone under the bus unjustly to make ratings, to get clicks, to ruining lives. You got no problem. So don't sit there and cry victim when somebody that you fucked with has a bigger audience than you do. You fucked with the wrong person. And I 100% support that. Minaj, fucking, unleash the dogs of war. Go havoc on these fucking journalists. Fuck them.
I want to see how many followers she has.
Oh, she's got millions. Today, in the legitimate pursuit of a story that has both local and international interest, one of our journalists has been subjected to a range of attacks via social media, including death threats. This is unacceptable, and we have taken all measures within our control to ensure her safety and security. Well, the next time you want to go fucking trying to, make passive-aggressive threats, maybe you should think about who you're doing that to. At Guardian Media Ltd, we denounce intimidation. Oh, fuck off. I'm not even going to read that shit. Fuck them. Fuck them and their company. You deserved it. Your reporters deserved it. You gotta love it. You gotta love it.
Got to.
It's just, I love that you fucked with the wrong person, and then she's coming back, punching back 10 times harder, and will not pull punches on you just because you're the press. I love it. People are saying 158 million. 100, that's almost half the population of America. That's how many people follow her. And if you think that she does not have influence over a good majority of those people, you are sadly mistaken, meaning she is waking people up. Now, you don't have to think that she's the smartest woman out there. I don't. But what she's doing right now should be praised, should be looked at as saying, hey, that's good shit. Kanye did the same thing, and I sat there and I told people like Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk, I said, be careful when you strap yourself to that rocket. It's going to blow up. Kanye's not the smartest motherfucker out there. He does do some good. He's woken a lot of people up. But Kanye
he's a billionaire.
He was the first motherfucker to come out there and say, hey,
smart.
Wait a minute. You're like, we're falling into this trap being, I want to speak my mind. And then people crucified for him. Mm-hmm. They crucified because also Kanye has said a lot of stupid shit. So it's like, I don't take him too seriously, but the symbolic stand that he made and the after actions that happen only proves more and more that if you're a leftist and you're black, they don't give two shits about you. They just want your vote.
That's it.
They don't give a fuck about your voice. Because if they did, they wouldn't try and silence you when you speak out in opposition. That's all it is.
Why did the White House want to have a private meeting with Nicki Minaj?
And then Nicki talked about that, saying like, I think she said she did want to go to the White House. I don't know if she changed her mind that, but yeah. And I saw this one TikToker, and he actually made a really good point. He said, wait a minute.
It's like just a chair in the middle of a room with a light.
With some straps.
With a light.
We're going to tell you. We're going to explain to you.
Just want to run some things by you.
We will explain to you why you need the vaccine, little black woman. Yes, the white liberals will talk very clear for you. If not, you must get the vaccine. Yes.
You've been saying some very
valid propaganda things, and the field is not happy with your actions. We have ways of making you get the jab. You will listen to us.
That's how I imagined the
I
conversation going.
Look, Nicki, look, you better listen, or old Sleepy Joe is going to sniff you.
Or she's going to have to listen to Fauci talk for 6 hours.
Oh, God.
Look, Nicki, listen.
You're going to have to take the vaccination, Nicki. I know I haven't even treated a single fucking patient, but you're going to have to listen to me. I know what I'm talking about.
It kind of sounds like Bernie Sanders if he was drunk. Like if Bernie Sanders was drunk, that's probably what he'd sound like.
Close. That's
Fauci.
A good comparison.
I think so.
Good old General Milley's back in the news. Also, I know this broke right at the end of the day on Friday. For those that don't know this, I was posting it all over social media. The drone strike that happened in Afghanistan, that 13 were killed, was proven. They were all innocent. It was proven. I'm honestly surprised the Pentagon actually came out and confirmed it. They confirmed 13 were killed, 7 were children. They admitted to it. So Joe Biden, to try and get one W out of this whole big L he took in the Afghanistan withdrawal, said, we're gonna make them pay, and you killed the wrong people.
I questioned that when that happened.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. Because you had everybody celebrating. Yeah, that's what America does. That's what we do.
That's what we do.
I'm like, maybe we should wait to see who he actually killed. And sure enough.
One of them was an Afghani worker that works with an American nonprofit over there. They murdered him. And I think, I could be wrong, but I think a lot of them were all relatives.
Yeah, and this
they murdered, 13 innocent people.
This is the same administration that gave a list of Americans.
Yes, and they admitted to it.
Blinken
admitted to it, yeah.
Right, yeah. That are still over there. So they killed more than just these people in this drone strike. That was an accident.
Yeah.
Like the people that they're
created more
being killed now by
the
Taliban.
Yeah.
That was intentional too. I mean, that's war crime, right? It's got to be. When you're handing over a list of names of people that are there that are Americans, that have held Americans.
That's operational security 101, OPSEC 101. I mean, you don't give over a list of names.
It just seems like common sense.
Yeah, you would think that. And that's why, like, this has been the biggest fumble. I mean,
like listening to Blinken try to answer these questions.
He won't.
I'm like, somebody like just get up and crack that guy in the head with a chair? Jeez.
You see this shit, you're just like, I'll put it this way. I remember I said this a while back. I said, America, I feel, needs 4 years of Biden. We need 4 years of this holy trifecta of leftism.
If there's anybody left
at the end
of his
administration,
administration,
drone strike.
Yeah,
I mean,
drone
Jesus
strike
Christ.
fucking dropped off at a terrorist doorstep.
Maybe because Democrats are starting to wake up now. You've got
Are
Nicki
they?
Minaj. I think they are. I'm hoping. Again, we've got 3 and some change, 3 years and 4 months, 3 months of this bullshit.
Oh my
Not counting the
God.
2022 midterms. We've got America needs to see what happens when you've got complete Democrat control. They fuck it up royally.
This is like I don't know.
I can only imagine
at the end of the fireworks where they do every firework goes off and they're just showing everything. The terrible border situation, over 10,000 people at the border.
We're getting to
They're killing Americans over and
it's getting bad. Dude, the border. I mean, you've seen the videos
Yeah.
of the Rio Grande area, how they have like over 10,000 migrants. I think a lot of them are from Haiti that are camped out under a bridge.
Are they from Haiti?
I said there was a lot of Haitians. There were a lot of
I
various
heard they
people from
were
around the world.
Flying them back to Haiti.
I don't know.
Some of them. I mean,
taxpayer money though. You got to like we're flying them back. I was like, well, why would we even let them in? But it's mind blowing to me, and you know. Going back to the other point, though, with what we see with the drone strikes, it's nuts.
Yeah.
Like, and this is going to sound so fucking wrong, but as someone that's opposite the left, you couldn't have hoped for a better turnout of worse events to showcase how horrible the left is at leading.
Yeah.
Like you're sitting there like, actually, this is kind of a blessing in disguise. It's a horrible situation, don't get me wrong, but now maybe we're going to see more people start to wake up and understand like this is what you get when you vote these retards in office. This is what you get.
How do you even spin this to make it look like a win?
You can't.
Because
that's
they keep
what
bringing
Biden
up
was trying to do with the drone strike, and he completely bumbled that fucker. And so this brought up a lot of questions. Who approved this? So I can only say from my own experiences, when you went over there, when we were over there in Afghanistan, to drop a JDAM or anything like that, usually, depending upon the unit and where you were operating it took battalion commander approval. He had to give his initials, and that went up through the chain of command. Like, you'd have boots on the ground, like an E7 platoon starts like, hey, I need a fucking bomb drop, yada, 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 unless you had a JTAC with you, which is an Air Force operator. He's the one that's like, he can drop bombs, whereas in the common infantryman can't. Like, certain kind of ordnance you can't. You have to have specialized approval. So when you do a drone strike, the other part of it is in a civilian area, a populated urban area, which is virtually unheard of, in my opinion. Like, we didn't do that in Iraq. We didn't, well, number one, we didn't have the capabilities at the time. Number two, there's just way too much collateral damage. That's more of a fucking, you go in there and you get the guy. Well, we didn't have the troops to do it, I don't think. They drone struck in a civilian area. That authorization, in my opinion, I feel like that came from no less than the SecDef. No less. Or the POTUS. Now, regardless if it did or didn't, if that was a common foot soldier, if that was a regular line officer, if that was a JTAC that did that and killed 13, you bet your sweet ass they would be in Leavenworth right now. Mm-hmm. They would be on their way to prison for war crime. You killed 13 innocent. You are done. You're in prison for life.
A minimum.
A minimum.
That doesn't include all the people who are still stuck over there. They don't even know.
No.
They keep saying somewhere around 100.
Yeah.
Maybe 1,000. They don't. They have no idea.
Yeah, they have no idea. Because I think even Ted Cruz talked about, it's like, actually, it's upwards of thousands.
Yeah, it's thousands.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't believe anything that they're saying. Like, if they asked Joe Biden if we should do a drone strike,
he's over there falling
he was
asleep.
like, what flavor ice cream? Yeah, I love chocolate chip.
You're right. You see the tweet from...
they're not asking him questions.
Somebody tweeted Elon Musk, and it talked about the astronauts that just came back. And they said, it's a shame that Joe Biden didn't comment on these brave heroes coming back for you. And Elon Musk tweeted back in response that he's still sleeping.
Yeah.
Even Elon Musk, like, more people like, this guy is a joke.
He wandered off of the stage.
Joke. Yes.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
Will not take questions.
Yeah. He's concealing himself from the press.
Oh my.
He's concealing himself from which honestly is a tactic that maybe Trump should have taken. Because he could have given them less. Yeah, I think if he would have given them less fuel, they wouldn't have as much. They could only report on the action.
He should. No, I think
Trump
it's
also
a president's
liked
job
back.
to get out there and answer questions.
True.
That's your job. That's what you signed up for.
But Trump didn't have the best way of answering the questions in a clear, concise manner.
He wasn't a politician.
True.
He's not. He didn't spend decades and decades, polishing himself up to be a politician to get elected over and over and over again.
Yeah, but there also comes certain inherent responsibilities when you're the POTUS of when you're giving a response. It needs to be the best, most accurate response possible. Now, whether it be truth or not, at least, I see what you're saying, but Trump just would come back and it's like, don't leave anything up to interpretation. Explain everything, because if you don't, CNN and Acosta will run with it and twist it. Therefore, you have to remove any possibility of warping that statement.
I think it's going to happen either way.
Yeah, true. Yeah, you're right.
When he's talking to the president of the Ukraine and you have a third party point of view of the conversation that was happening,
yeah,
and then he releases the transcripts of the conversation. It's
true.
I don't. They're still twisting it.
They're going to twist. Yeah, you're right. They're going to twist no matter how. You can come out there and say, and then lay it out, outline it piece by piece.
For 5 years they did that.
It was.
Adam Schiff was saying he had proof that
good old Donald Schiff.
Yeah, that disappeared like a.
Yeah, what happened to him? Him and Lisa Stroh. What happened to them?
Fartwell. He disappeared like a fartwell in the wind.
Gone. Well, I gotta love that.
Disappeared. Yeah. So these guys had plenty of ammunition for 4 years, just gaslighting lies.
Oh fuck yeah, they did.
Gaslighting.
Sons of bitches. Milley, Army chief, displayed pattern of behavior defying authority, former senior military official says. E. Casey Wardinsky alleges stunning instances of Milley, Army chief of staff, James McConville, exceeding authority. A former assistant secretary of the Army under President Trump has accused top military officials, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark Milley, and Chief of Staff of the U.S. Army, James McConville, of engaging in a pattern of behavior that overstepped their authority and undermined political commands from Trump, or potential commands from Trump. In an interview with Fox News Digital, E. Casey Wardinsky, a former assistant secretary of the Army of Manpower and Reserve Affairs under the Trump administration, accused high-ranking military officials, Milley and McConville, of making statements that insinuated they were calling the shots. These are true authoritarians in uniform, ladies and gentlemen. If you think these people don't think they're above the law and in control of the civilian populace, you are sadly mistaken. And this is an ex-soldier saying this. These kinds of behaviors and this willingness for military leaders to exceed their authorities and ignore authorities of the civilian officials appointed over them, positions under the Constitution and laws of the country, was not something that came to them on January 8th, Wardinsky said. It was something that they had done for a while. According to Wardinsky, there were stunning instances in which he saw firsthand high-ranking military officials exceed their authority. It was in and around the riots in D.C., Wardinsky said. General Milley, as a chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, first thing to know is he said he is a staff officer, he's an advisor, he's not a commander. He ordered elements of the 82nd Airborne and 10th Mountain Division to fly overnight to D.C. to Fort Belvoir and Andrews without consulting the Army chain of command and reaching around the chain of command to do that. I know that for a fact. If that is the case, big no-no. Big no-no. New revelations in a book by Washington Post Association editor Bob Wardak and national political Robert Costa, William Milley, made two phone calls. Okay, that's going back to the other topics we already discussed. Trump has said the behavior, if true, amounted to... Okay, we already covered this. This is talking about how Milley essentially was undermining Trump, talking about securing nuclear capabilities to where if Trump ordered a nuclear strike on China, that he would take over, yada, yada. Yeah, so we're going back. But anyway, the point of the article is saying that apparently Milley has a history of bucking authority, going outside of his sphere of influence, his chain of command, which again is a very horrible thing to do, because when you think you're above the law, you think you're above the UCMJ, why would your soldiers ever want to follow you? I mean, when you sit there and you say, well, rules for thee, not for me, in the military, big fucking no-no. It's ridiculous. The Vatican. Oh, the cat's jumping on you. Cat's jumped on Josh.
Oh my God. Clause.
Vatican closes its doors to those without a green pass. The green pass is proof of vaccination. Rome, the Vatican city-state, announced Monday that effective October 1st, no one can enter its territory without presenting a coronavirus green pass by order of Pope Francis. So much for believing in God. Wow. That's weird to me, how the Pope is protected by walls and guards, and then turns around and says, hey, Catholics, unless you got your vaccine, unless you got your green pass, you're not coming in here. Weird.
That's strange.
That walls suddenly work.
thought Jesus accepted everybody.
I thought Jesus was there for the prostitutes, the sick. Didn't he go out there and like rub sand and spit on the eyes of a blind person? Didn't he cure the lepers and those with all? It was
He did.
okay. But then suddenly when the Pope comes, oh ye of little faith. Weird again.
Turn the lepers away.
Man, just saying unless you have the vaccine passport, you're not coming into the Vatican City. Nine.
You're filthy.
I don't think
Let
you
me
have
put on my Pope hat.
Let me put on the little pointy thing that says I am the representative of God on earth. Really? So if you're the representative of God on earth, you think that you wouldn't get COVID? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think that's kind of like really, I'm not
Just
for those.
a man.
Yeah, I think that science and religion go hand in hand. I really do. But I believe that we have science as a result of religion. But don't sit there and tell me that you're the representative of God on earth and then you are that scared of COVID. Do you not believe in divine protection or the will of God? Which is it? I'm curious on that one. Or maybe it's because you're just political.
Yeah.
When the Pope started, it's just, and the Pope has always been political, so. Gotta love the Catholic Church.
Political.
Feed the poor.
Yeah.
But we've got a city of gold. Okay.
Gold scepter.
Out there molesting kids and shit.
You never trust anybody that wields a scepter.
Fuck no. Catholics, I'm not knocking your religion, but I think the representative of your religion is a piece of shit. I really do. What an age we live in. What an age we live in. Because if we were back in the Renaissance period and I said that, they'd chop my head off. Think about that. Like, I think the Pope's full of shit. Done. Guillotine my ass. Or like axe to the back of the head. Done. God bless America. Oh, by the way, Frenchman fined €10,000 for portraying French President Macron as Hitler over vaccine passports. Whew. Whew. Freedom of speech, my dick. A billboard owner in France has been fined €10,000 for publicly insulting President Emmanuel Macron for depicting the French leader as Adolf Hitler in response to the imposition of vaccine passports. A court in Toulon sided with French President, I wonder why, French President Emmanuel Macron, who sued Michel-Ange Fleury, 62, for 2 billboards caricaturing Macron as Nazi leader Adolf Hitler and former Marshal of France, Philippe Pétain, who was himself convicted for treason for working with the Nazi regime during the Second World War. While President Macron has recently taken a firm stance in defending the right of the satirical magazine Charlie Hebdo to caricature the Islamic prophet Muhammad, he decided to take the billboard owner to court for insulting him in a similar fashion. Wow. That's hypocrisy at its finest. The first billboard appeared on July 19th, just days after the introduction of the so-called Pass Sanitaire Health Pass in France, which requires citizens to present papers proving their vaccination or COVID status to enter into restaurants, pubs, cafes, and other public spaces. The billboard showed Mr. Macron with a Hitler mustache and dressed in a Nazi uniform with the accompanying phrase, obey, get vaccinated, la voix du Nord. La voix du Nord. Excuse me, I mispronounced that. I don't speak French, but I'll eat the food. The second poster showed Macron dressed as a former Marshal of France, Philippe Pétain, against the backdrop of a QR code with this message: there is only one pass to go through, intending to evoke the Papers, Please regime enacted by Pétain's government during the Nazi occupation of France. I'm seeing these pictures. This is actually really good. This is really good. And it's true. It's true. Despite France removing the crime of insulting the President of the Republic in 2013, the French president is still allowed to sue fellow citizens for public defamation or injury. Okay. All right. Though rarely enforced, a court in Toulon agreed with Mr. Macron that the billboards represented an obvious desire to harm, and therefore ordered Mr. Fleury to pay the French leader €10,000, which is equivalent to $12,000 American. Mr. Fleury has vowed to immediately appeal the ruling, arguing that the right to caricature has been enshrined in law. Well, I mean, okay. Fuck. To be fair, yeah. I think in American court that would be considered libel, and I think the French president is well within his right to sue, because that's like
people to sue him because he made a caricature of
him being a Nazi,
depicting a Nazi.
Because that could also because I think it boils
it's a
down,
caricature.
But if it's the likeness of somebody, it could potentially cause.
I mean, but you have political cartoons.
True.
Right?
Yeah, that's true. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know, but it's kind of like, I mean, I'm
going to say,
I don't know.
I'm going to say he gets a pass.
You think he gets? What?
I think
does he get a pass because we agree with him?
No, I think it's. I mean, I don't agree with all the Trump cartoons that came out, but they're within their rights to do whatever they want to do.
True.
I don't care.
But I guess where is the line drawn to where it comes down to saying, okay, now you've gone too far and you're making associate? Because I mean, the left did it to Trump all the time, comparing him to a Nazi
said, hey,
and Hitler
look,
and all this other stuff.
You colluded with Russia.
Yeah.
I've got evidence. There's tapes of you going peeing on a hooker.
Yeah.
And all this other. I have proof of that.
Yeah.
That's probably going to fall more in line with libel.
I don't know, man.
And maybe with Candace Owens going after Kim, what's her name? Klesiak or something like that?
Oh, you mean Kim going after Candace?
Yeah,
well,
Kim
that was
going after
different,
yeah.
because she, basically accused her of all this stuff. Yes.
Yeah, so I think that's
justifiable, but
right.
also,
so that's when you get into those.
Is it like, do you think the difference is like making direct accusations versus making generalizations?
You could say he's acting like Hitler. I mean, I think that's what you could really argue is. Again, I'm not an attorney, so I'm just saying. Well, you're acting like Hitler right now.
Either way, I think it's funny as fuck.
Oh yeah, you can even say he's literally Hitler.
Yeah. That's interesting.
But
I don't know.
If you're trying to make somebody get a vaccination,
actually, the fact that the president's actually enforcing this vaccine passport thing, like, and there's talk of them doing that in America, and I know places like Texas and Florida are going to fight back on that.
The one picture floating around of the Nazi symbol with
the needles.
It's not with the needles. It was something like a certificate of health or something like that. It was basically.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah,
I saw the one of the needles. I shared that, and then people were like, "Are you endorsing Nazism?" It's like, I think you missed the point of the post, you moron.
Well, yes,
yes, I am endorsing Nazism. Yeah, absolutely. That's what it is about.
Nazis are very popular.
It's like, do you not see the meaning of the swastika with the needles at the end of it? Is like the representation of the Third Reich, the final solution?
Right.
And people are kind of like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know how you could equate that to me supporting Nazism. It's actually the exact opposite. But again, there's a lot of people on the internet, and a lot of them are fucking stupid.
It's true.
But yeah, apparently he's fined €10,000. Mr. Flory,
that's over in France, though, right?
Yeah, that's France.
So
I wonder how that would go in America, though.
I think it would be thrown out. You could say whatever you want about anybody.
True.
As long as it's not libel.
But that'd be interesting, though, to take that to court. It's like, because I know because I've dealt with this where like people will say things, but like when the dude accused me of being a pedophile, which was so fucking insane.
Right.
But then I took that to Eric, our lawyer, and he's like, "Oh no, you have grounds here to sue because that could lead to fiscal and psychological damage.
Yeah.
It's a baseless accusation, like it's a direct accusation. He said you have grounds to sue him for libel. So for something like this, like making the comparison to Hitler, it's like, I guess maybe it's not in the sense libel because I mean clearly he's not Hitler.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess you'd have to be an attorney to really make an argument of why that's done damage to you financially.
I don't know.
And emotionally.
29 governors demand Biden meeting over border crisis. Governors seek an open, constructive dialogue regarding border enforcement. More than 24 Republican governors are demanding a meeting with President Biden to address securing America's borders, saying the illegal immigration surge under the current administration has created an international humanitarian crisis. A letter released Monday signed by 26 Republican governors included Doug Ducey of Arizona, Ron DeSantis of Florida, and Greg Abbott of Texas asked Biden to schedule a meeting at the White House within the next 15 days so they can have an open and constructive dialogue regarding border enforcement on behalf of the United States citizens in our states and all those hoping to become U.S. citizens. The governor said border apprehensions are up almost 500% compared to last year, and that approximately 9,700 illegal apprehensions have prior criminal convictions. They said more fentanyl has been seized this fiscal year than the last 3 years combined, and that cartels and human traffickers are making millions by smuggling people across and drugs across the border. While governors are doing what we can, our Constitution requires that the president must faithfully execute the immigration laws passed by Congress, the governors wrote. Not only has the federal government created a crisis, it has left our states to deal with challenges that only a federal government has a duty to solve. Our immigration system may be complicated and complex, but the solution to ending the border crisis is simple and straightforward. They continued, as president, you have the ability to take action to protect America, restore security, and end the crisis now. The letter came a day after the U.S. government closed a portion of the southern border and started deporting hundreds of Haitian immigrants or migrants who had been encamped around the bridge in Del Rio, Texas, after crossing from Cuna, Mexico. The White House did not immediately respond to Fox's news request for comments. How many of the policies of Trump's policy did they undo?
All of them.
Wasn't it like all of them? Wasn't Biden coming in there saying, yeah, we're not going to do that?
I'm telling you.
Because it was like, if Trump did it, we're going to undo it, even though it was done
I think you can make the case that if anybody should be allowed into this country under asylum, it should be the Haitians, because their president was killed, right? He was assassinated, and then they just went through like another massive earthquake.
I mean, even Afghanistan.
And to top it off, the Clintons raised like $10 billion.
They were like, why would you leave
Never
a country
gave it to them?
The Clintons fucked up just to come here to a country where the Clintons are. I don't know.
Well, it's got to be better than living over in Haiti. I mean, because if all your resources and your whole country is gone down the toilet, then I don't know. I think you can make the case for them being able to come over here just because they've gone through so much.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this show is brought to you by ShellShockCBD.com. Make sure you check us out. Again, this is September. Code SUB will save you 20% off by subscribing to any products out there. Big thank you for everybody tuning in today and sharing the podcast out there. If you go on iTunes and you look us up, and we'll be posting this later on today, and you leave us a great review, that helps bump us up in the charts. Remember, Josh and I are doing this by ourselves. We are funded by nobody. We don't get paid for this, which would be great if we did. But again, we have Shell Shock CBD. You want to support us over there. Thank you for all the bits and subscribers on Twitch that help support the stream. You guys are fucking amazing. Again, we can't thank you all enough. You can find us on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube. 2 channels on YouTube. My main channel and my backup channel. Just YouTube John Burke. You'll see both channels. Give it a follow. Again, we cannot thank you enough. You're fucking incredible. Thank you for, again, allowing us to speak our minds, make our voices heard, and getting our voices out there by echoing it on social media. Because God knows, man, we got enemies on both sides now. Like the GOP doesn't like us, the DNC doesn't like us. I don't think anybody really likes us anymore. But that's what happens when you kind of think for yourself and you don't fall in the lines of groupthink and echo chambers. They don't like you for that.
You got to come together.
Come together right now over me. Anything to add?
Okay. Yeah, go to Shell Shock CBD. Check out our new products. We got some great Delta 8 products coming out. We should be dropping some new CBD gummies this week.
Hell yeah.
Pineapple, watermelon, 25 milligrams. They're isolate, so if you have to take a drug test, you won't pop hot on that stuff. And these 25 milligram gummies are
great.
Amazing.
They're great.
I mean, I took like 3 or 4 of them.
People asked us to bring the watermelon back, and we did.
Yeah, so it's a high dose of so you can take 2, 3 of them.
You need to chill out. Shell Shock CBD's
really
got you.
And then
got you covered.
The Delta 8. That 3,000 milligram, Tyler told me he took it this weekend.
Oh, really? The dark matter?
The dark matter.
I'm scared. I'm too scared to try that.
He said he took half a tincture full, and he said he was feeling good all day long.
100 milligrams of Delta 8 in one dose. Like, fuck me running. That's going to put you on the moon.
But he said it wasn't like the chocolate. He said it was a different sort of
I'm going to have to try that then.
Feeling.
I'm going to have to try it.
Because the chocolate's hard.
Oh, the chocolate? The chocolate leaves me high for a long fucking time.
Yeah,
that's why I can't take the chocolate. I have to take the gummies. Like, the chocolate is super potent. So if you're like a regular weed smoker or THC user and the gummies you don't feel the gummies, try the chocolate. The chocolate is stronger. And then if the chocolate doesn't work for you, which I don't know how it doesn't, then try the dark matter, which we're about to drop, which is 3,000, or is that 3,000? No, it's 3,000 milligrams of Delta 8. Each dropper is roughly 100 milligrams of Delta 8. Which, again, if you don't know what Delta 8 is, go to ShellShockCBD.com and it explains it for you. You want to get high, you want to relax, you want to help with
it's a lot of different
pain.
benefits.
Oh, fuck yeah. And that's what that's why they're trying to ban
relax. You know, it's
big weed companies are turning into big pharma companies. They're trying to ban Delta 8 because it's cleaner, it's cheaper, it's just as effective, if not more. Because some people are like, oh, no, THC works better. I don't think so. Because I've smoked weed and then I've taken Delta 8 and I love Delta 8 because there's no paranoia feeling. It feels amazing.
And people who are going through chemotherapy too are using Delta 8 because it helps with, nausea.
Yep.
So it's really,
we've had so many reviews telling us that.
Yeah.
The one thing I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening, if you take away one point from this, throughout my time being on social media, throughout the growing of my platforms and things such as that, I have never lied to y'all about a product that I have endorsed. I have taken said products. I stood behind Grenade supplements. I love Grenade supplements. They work. They're great, but you have to eat right. Integrity driven, like with Colin Wayne and them. I stood behind them. With Man Sports, their stuff, they weren't proprietary blended. What was in it was in it. It worked great for you. Just different flavors, different variations, which was good. Every company I have repped, I have never lied to you. I refuse to do that because there's other people out there that do that just to make a quick buck, because I knew one day, once you compromise the trust of your following, they will never trust you again. I have never lied to you, ladies and gentlemen. That's also why we created sample packs on Shell Shock CBD. You can try the sample packs for like $5. And my mindset is like, I just need to get this in your hands for you to try it to see that it actually works. Because there's a lot of doubt. There's a lot of skepticism. Try it for yourself. See if it works. $5. I would rather turn you into a lifetime customer than lie to you and make a quick buck. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense business-wise. That's why Shell Shock has grown so exponentially fast. We've done so well because the products do wondrous, and our prices are not astronomical.
Yeah.
They're not astronomical. We actually ask for a reasonable price, unlike other CBD companies.
And we have these asteroids coming out too. These little candies.
And the
like,
Doritos, the chips.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're 8 milligrams, Delta 8.
Yep.
Which is, you can
so if you want a
microdose,
microdose, if you want a small amount of Delta 8, we're going to have that option because I cannot take. Yes, we will guarantee UAs for isolate products, not Delta 8. No one's ever popped hot on our isolate products.
No.
They've never popped hot. It's impossible. The way it's made, you won't. So, yes, I guarantee that. Now, the other thing is if you take the full spectrum, if you take the Delta 8, you will fail a drug test. And it's the clearest thing on the website. It tells you THC-free or with THC. I don't want to risk anybody's career out there. We got people in the FBI taking our shit. We got people in the military taking our shit. We have members of Congress taking our shit.
I'm telling you, though, if you just take the isolate gummies that we have and you want to relax, if you take 2, 3, 4 of them,
it'll chill you the fuck out.
Yeah, you will chill out. Like you will feel
variety of
relaxed.
different
it's
great
way
flavors.
better than a few glasses of wine, that's for sure.
Yeah. Does Tess Holiday have anything to do with your lessons learned through untrustworthy sources? I'm talking about her T-shirt. I forgot all about that. Yeah, I remember when Tess Holiday was dropping those T-shirts, and then apparently a lot of people didn't get their shirts and they got scammed for money. Yeah, I forgot all about that. But no, it's the integrity thing. It's don't lie to your audience, because if you do, they will never believe or trust you.
Yeah.
And then so John, we need Reese's flavored drops. Oh my God. Y'all, we have so many different flavors. People ask for flavors, and we've been launching flavors left and right. Yeah. So we got the topicals, we got all kinds of stuff. So go check out the website. Again, it is shellshockcbd.com. I love you. Thank you for supporting the podcast. Y'all are fucking amazing. We're the fastest growing podcast. Not really. Not really.
In this room.
In this room. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you bright and early tomorrow at 10 a.m., provided there's no traffic on 75 South.